Hey you, you're watching Let's Ride with these guys. If you haven't seen our last video, you should definitely check that out because it's gorgeous. I dragged a couple of my friends, Yash and Rohan, to go riding, and we went to Coronado Island, and it was super gorgeous. Definitely a nice little short evening ride that we highly recommend. Now I also wanted to add a little bit more depth to some of our vlogs, and so I decided to interview Yash and Rohan and hear a little bit about Indian motorcycle culture versus American motorcycle culture. So I'll let them speak for themselves. Let's just dive right into it. Hey, it's Angela with Let's Ride with these guys, and today I'm with Yash and Rohan, and we rode to Coronado Island recently, and it was so beautiful.
Yeah, so fun.
Yeah, thank you guys for just jumping along and
yeah, thanks for shooting us.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was super fun.
Yeah,
it came out better than I thought it would, because when I was filming in the back, it was like super shaky, and I was like, oh god, I don't know if this is gonna work. But yeah, once I stabilized it in Final Cut, I was like, oh, that looks really good.
That looks great. Yeah.
Cool. So tell me about your experiences with riding here in America and as well as India.
Yeah, I'll start first with like how I mean, my first ride, I remember I was like 14 or 13 years old, and my mom had just got this motorcycle kind of thing. Like it's a moped basically. And I was in like 5th or 6th grade actually, I don't remember the exact age, but I said to everyone that I know how to ride it. And I just sat on the moped and I started it, and there was a huge ditch. So
God.
I just like went and then just went directly into the ditch.
Oh god.
And that's what I did with my dad's scooter too. So that's how my riding actually started. But yeah, and then after that I got my own motorcycle when I was like 16 or 17 when I went to college. And yeah, it was amazing. I mean for me, I think anyone who grows up in India, it's like motorcycle is like just a bicycle. It's not a big deal. Like how in the US it's like for everyone, it's like, oh, everybody thinks like motorcycling is dangerous. But everyone in India rides. Yeah, almost everyone.
I think main difference is in India is mainly focused towards commute, versus here it's more of a hobby or kind of activity that you do. So that's why like the bikes are also kind of developed that way. It's not that really, but I think things are changing now on. Like it's kind of like become like Harley type of culture, like especially Royal Enfield, they kind of like forming groups where people go on like ride. So it's kind of changing, but when I was especially growing up, I haven't really seen like motorcycle culture as you would see here.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's different.
It could be there, but
so basically like super bikes, like bigger bikes, like a bike like this, or even the 650cc Royal Enfield, like most of the bikes in India were like smaller engine capacity, smaller displacement engine capacity. So it's more like my bike was like first motorcycle was 135cc, but that might sound less, but I could go around. I mean, it's not like one of the best bikes you can buy, like something like this, but you still have this. It's still a motorcycle. And you still have a lot of fun. Like I used to go around. It can go up to like 70 miles an hour if you just like really grill it, and it's lightweight and it's so much fun when you're young. You know, you just like. Make your friends or your girlfriend, they sit in the back and just like ride around everywhere. So yeah, I mean, being young and being able to ride motorcycles at that age, I think like that was, I'm super thankful for that, you know.
That I would agree, I guess, yeah.
So you were riding when you were really young too? Or?
Oh yeah, totally. I guess we all started like around 12, 13.
Yeah.
You have to.
Because everyone has a motorcycle at home. Most people do.
Yeah. I used to like, I remember like I would just like get up 6 o'clock or so when my parents are still asleep, so they wouldn't know that I'm kind of like taking the bike outside. And
nice.
But one day I got into an accident, and that's how they came to know that I'm trying to learn it. So.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I actually didn't learn how to motorcycle. Like I never even considered getting a motorcycle until it was like 20, maybe 23, 24, 25, somewhere around there. My car needed like some serious repairs, and I was like, I'm not paying for that. So I was like, let me get into motorcycling because it's cheaper. And I got my first bike. It was a 250cc Honda CBR. And I used it a lot for commuting. I put a good number of miles on it. And I think the funniest thing was in class, because I took a motorcycle safety course as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people were like, "Oh yeah, I finally got caught by a police officer, and now I have to get a license." Because before that, I was just riding without it. You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. We did that too.
We did that too in India. That's all.
Oh, that's
But I think that's actually badass, you know, because you were actually going against the grain. In the US, I mean, not many people ride motorcycles, and the people who do, they absolutely love it. Like the sheer number, if you calculate the percentage. In India, it's like exactly the opposite. Like how in the US everyone has cars, like 2 cars in the home. So it's really easy to get into motorcycling there. But for some, like you actually chose motorcycling. For us, it was motorcycling chose us, and that's why. But we still love it. But you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the different cultural perspective, at least I think. You know?
But it's overall different altogether. I mean, you have like smaller displacement bikes, versus here you have like freeways where you can go like 80, 90 miles per hour.
Yeah.
You don't have. I mean, growing up, we didn't have that many highways where you can just easily access them. Kind of ride like around 90, 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference.
So what I like is like you can have a 1200cc bike,
Yeah.
and you can actually use the power here. You have the freeways, or I honestly don't like freeways that much, but you can use the power when turning and stuff like that. Like everywhere you can, like, it's just to have that power available and being able to use it. And these bikes are awesome. This is just a different level of fun, obviously.
So have you used your bike a lot for commuting or for just recreation at this point?
At this point, mostly recreation, yeah.
For me, it has been exactly opposite.
Oh really? Commuting?
Yeah, just that's the only reason I got it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a car? You do have a car.
Yeah, I do have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're
Some of the
able-
time, if I have to go to like places where I know parking is scarce, kind of just like it would be easier to use motorcycle and get a parking than
Yeah.
I'll use that.
Yeah, I was trying to park downtown the other day and it was like $25 for like the night. It's like, no, I'm
Now?
here for 1 hour.
During
Come on.
COVID?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's
It's still
going downtown?
it still is expensive.
Yeah. What about you? Have you been riding it as for commute or?
No, because I've been working from home now. Otherwise, I don't know if I'd still ride it as a commuting bike. When I had my 250, I did, but now because the distance is so much further to work, and then coming back, like even though traffic is like at 50% because of Corona,
Oh yeah.
I still feel like people drive like crazy. Like it's still like I see people do dumb things on the road.
Like that's what, like, riding motorcycles in traffic is kind of boring. You know, like it's just like, instead if you have like an open road, you can just like go and just enjoy, you know.
But
Yeah.
if you compare that to it, I mean, that's true. But in India, I mean, we don't even have lanes.
Oh, in India it's different. Yeah, I was
You
talking about
just
here.
like, yeah.
I was talking about here. Yeah.
But I don't know. Like if you want to take like a funny take on it, I think you have more freedom because you can just
Here?
go anywhere. No, in India, like
Oh,
if
really?
you go to cities like Pune, or there's like people will just like put their motorcycle on like footpath and break the signals. Like my dad once like just didn't care about red light, and I asked him like, why did you do that? And he's like, well, there was no police officer.
Yeah.
And
So like they say, like it's like wild wild west. India is actually the wild wild east, and it's like way wilder than things can. Like here, like there you just go and like there's no parking. Like you can just wherever you go. Like if this is a storefront, you'll just park in front of it.
Oh wow.
I remember riding my motorcycle on footpaths because there was so much traffic and I hated waiting. Like so, the laws are like it's not a binary. It's not 0 or 1. Laws in India are like based on the situation.
I mean, I'm sure there are laws, but
I mean the laws, but people who follow them.
Yeah, that's interesting. Did you ever get into an accident back there?
oh. I think it's mostly because I didn't have like good technique back then. So I think a couple of accidents that I had involved in were mostly because I couldn't brake well, and I think also like our roads are not. I mean, some of the roads I was driving, you have the shoulders are not paved. You have like dirt and some sand coming on. The tar.
It's almost like riding like dirt in like some
really?
places.
So it gets tricky sometimes.
Okay.
You can slide, but we all do, right? I'm pretty sure you guys have funny stories.
Yeah, like I used to ride my motorcycle for my college. Like every day I went. In India, I used to use for commute. When you asked me the question, I thought in the US. But in India, I used to use it for commute, and I used for more than like 10,000 miles. But when I was riding a bike, there were some couple of close calls, but I never had, thankfully, never been in a crash. But I was once in a crash when my friend was riding, and I was sitting behind him, and then I remember like we fell, and I did not have any gear at that time. Like I mean, we just kids, and
that's all.
so when the motorcycle crashed and we were like sliding down, I remember distinctly picking up my head up, and like this part was sliding because I didn't want it to get hit. But the speed was not that bad, so we survived.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Damn.
And when you're young, it's very different, you know.
I have an interesting thing to share. So I was riding one day. It was kind of like around 8 at night, and you know, we kind of have stray dogs back home. So there's this dog just kind of like sitting on the side of the road. I don't know what happened to him. Suddenly he just like wanted to run and cross the street, and the timing was so perfect that he just collided with my motorcycle. But I fell on, my motorcycle fell on the dog itself, and he was underneath. But he was in so much pain. I can totally understand, but that dog started like biting my seat cover and scratching my motorcycle because he wanted to get out, of course. But in that time, he like completely destroyed my seat cover.
Oh wow. And you were fine? And the dog
I
was
got
fine?
some scratches. Yeah, he was fine.
Oh man.
I was riding probably. It was really close to my house. So I was probably riding like 10 miles.
Oh okay.
So,
Okay, that's
yeah.
I think I've been pretty lucky, you know, knock on wood. My early one of my first times I dropped the bike was I was about to get onto a freeway, and then the light turned red, so then I had to brake real fast, and I managed to brake, but it shifted the weight funky, and so then I lost balance and I just let it go. And then, but I couldn't pick it up because it was too heavy. So then I was turning around. I turned around. It's like morning traffic. Cars are already piling up behind me. And I'm just and I point to the guy behind me. I'm like, "You come help me." And so he just scrambled out of his car, helped me pick it up, and I just flew off. I don't think I even thanked him.
Oh wow!
So thank you if that was you.
Yeah.
But yeah. It was a little scratch. So.
Another difference which I think here is people are not looking for motorcycles. You know, when you're driving a car, you usually don't look for motorcycles. That's not the case back home because everybody rides motorcycles. So even cars look for. So it's in one way it's kind of safer because of that. But yeah, and the speeds are lower, so it's kind of safer. But here it's the thrill of motorcycling. It's just a completely different beast. Which I love.
All right, well, thank you guys.
Yeah,
that was super fun.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it for us today. If you have any comments or suggestions on places to ride or different people to interview, I'd love to hear your ideas. Be sure to like and subscribe. And with that, we'll see you next time.